Hello, my name is Starlight. Welcome to my YouTube channel, and I want to reach out to all of you beautiful souls out there, see how all of you are doing. I hope you were able to get out in nature somewhere and, maybe you brought your family with you or your pet, your kids, or somebody, or maybe you did like what I did today is I went all by myself. And I don't mind. When I go out by myself, I don't hold anybody back or anything like that because I get distracted. When I do go out, there's things I see. I'm like, ooh, look at that. There's some flowers over there. Or, woo. I'm all over the place. So when I do go by myself, I can actually just be myself and enjoy the trip all on my own. But, it is hard if I got, other people with me. They might see, where did Starlight go? She's over there looking at some mold, no, some fungus out there, some mushrooms, I don't know, or moss. I don't know what she's looking at over there. But that's how it is when I go out. I do actually have videos where, like you'll see where I'm like, ooh, like I don't even know what's out there until I get out, and here I am recording. And I am like a kid when I get out hiking. I love getting out there. And anyway, I really want to reach out to all of you beautiful souls out there. I hope that you are taking good care of yourself. And, you, just like what I'm doing, is I want to work on myself so I can be the change that I want to see in the world. That's what my channel is all about. And if you don't know how to get to my YouTube channel, you can by Starlight, Kathy with a K, Digman. And you can also like this video, give it a thumbs up. That way I can reach other people. And not only, you will help me to reach other people, you will be helping me also with my YouTube channel. And I really thank all of you, the ones, hey, you're watching me, right? So I thank you for taking the time out to watch this video. And you could share my video with anyone. Pets, some of these are, could be even good for your kids, depending on their age. And I have to work on not swearing so much. That's why these are not on there on YouTube right yet for, other kids, because I do understand that I have to be careful of, the language that I use. So I do want to make videos later on. I do want to reach teenagers, big time. They're our future. I do love them. And I know they get a bad name, like a lot of them do. Sometimes they're innocent, and people lie to, lie about them, make up stories about them, and everybody will believe it. It's one of those things. So anyway, you can like my video, you could share it, with anybody you want, even your dog or cat. And also, you can subscribe to my YouTube channel. Whoopsie, whoopsie. You can subscribe to my YouTube channel. And don't forget the notification bell. Sorry, that is loud, but I do like my bell. And you can also leave a message down below. Reach out to me. I will respond. And I thank you if you have reached out. I have had a few out there that have reached out to me. Or if you want, you can get a hold of me on Instagram, which is the best place, and that is 1995 Starlight, and or on Facebook at Kathy with a K, Digman Starlight. So anyway, I just got done doing a video, and so this is my second one. Actually, it's my third or fourth for today, but two outside and two inside, and yeah, I'm a little busy bee out here, and so I have lots of videos on my computer that still has to get out. It's hard. It takes a long time to get these babies uploaded, and the universe wants me to get out. The universe doesn't want me to sit home all day. Absolutely not. So anyway, this video is for people, and you know what it's titled, but I gotta really work on the title. But I do know what I want to talk about is it's really for people that have been labeled or diagnosed with either bipolar, schizophrenia, or schizoaffective, which, I've been named all of them, all the above. So this is for people that have been labeled, or this could be a video for people that maybe you're a family member, that maybe you have somebody that you know that is labeled bipolar, schizophrenia, or schizoaffective. And there might be even other names that I'm not even aware of, but those are the top three that I am aware of, where sometimes doctors, they might not know exactly what is wrong with somebody, but they give them, they always got to have a title, we got to label you, like, this is a bell. Whoops, this is a bell. This is my finger. Just kidding. This is flowers. This is a tree. This is lights. I gotta have labels. This is a mic here. You can't see. This is a screen. I am Starlight. I gave myself a label, and I actually, Tigger came out yesterday. Wait until Tigger comes out on a video. You think is she high? No, I was high on life yesterday, so Tigger was out. Ping. I think I was out in nature a little too long is what happened, and that does happen, where you're probably wondering, who the heck is Tigger? Who is she talking about? Yeah, Tigger. The little tiger, Tigger, from Winnie the Pooh, that Tigger. Yeah, I get like him sometimes, and where I bounce around, I get so happy, and I just go cuckoo a little out there, but that's how I was yesterday. On my way back home from my hiking trip, Tigger was there the whole way back. So it is funny sometimes. The littlest things get Tigger out. There's sometimes music can get ping, Tigger will come out of me. It's a name, my own name that I came up with. I even have a Tigger coffee cup. And there's a Tigger song that you ought to check it out. It is on YouTube. I don't really know what the song is, but I typed up like Tigger song, and it will have a Tigger song out there, and it's cute. But when I listen to it, I'm like, yeah, that is me. I'm actually very easy to get along with, but I do have that Tigger character in me at times that pops out of me, and it's something else when Tigger comes out. You never know what the heck I'm gonna do or say, so you really have to. My kids love when Tigger comes out. Little kids love Tigger. Animals could get Tigger to come out really easily. I love animals. It's like I said, it's the little things with me. It's not big, huge things. You could get me happy with the little things in life. Just show me a nature trail somewhere, and I'm happy. I'm a happy, content little camper out there. So anyway, that's who Tigger is. You might have a nickname for you. So maybe you have some kind of character about you that you're like, oh, I change, like you're, not that I change into Batman or Robin or anybody like that, but, like I do, I bounce out of myself sometimes, and I love when I'm like that, but I gotta really keep an eye on Tigger. Sometimes Tigger does some naughty things, and I'm like, Tigger, why did you do that, So it is kind of funny. I do have a lot of fun with Tigger. And anyway, I do want to talk to you if you've been labeled by your doctor or diagnosed, and this is, or here's another label, or maybe you were a black sheep of your family. Were you a black sheep of your family? This is all the above, black sheep of the family, bipolar, schizophrenia, or schizoaffective. You might not even heard that name, what's schizoaffective? So it is kind of funny where years ago, 2000, I thought it was 2016, but on my notebook it said 2017. I wrote in the notebook and when I was in the hospital, and that's when I had my first spiritual awakening. And if you don't know what a spiritual awakening is, I did make a video on my first spiritual awakening. So it actually had two different spiritual awakenings, so it is a long it's a lot of videos because it's actually two spiritual awakenings, one right after the other that I wasn't even aware of, So this is why I wanted to reach out to all of you. If you know anybody, maybe you have a daughter or son, like, or somebody in your family, or, somebody that's always in the hospital and nobody knows what's wrong with the person, or maybe you, where you might question what the heck happened to me, like they locked me up into a psych hospital. Normally those are on the third floor. I did have a relative that ended up going in there, and I'm not sure really what was going on with her world, in her life, so maybe she was going through a spiritual awakening. And like, you might think that you're losing your mind. That's another topic that I will probably, another video I will put. Do you feel like you are losing your mind, or do you feel like you're crazy? That will be a great title for another time. But today is really about, like, reaching out for people that have bipolar or been labeled. Do you even believe you have bipolar? That is in my bloodline. Like, I actually had somebody else, being called that they had bipolar, and they had medication, like, I don't think they take it anymore. And they had highs and lows. There was times that they were, could be really happy, and other times they were really angry, or, like, really depressed and low and all that stuff. But I wasn't, that's the problem that I didn't understand, like, call it, like when I was being called bipolar, labeled bipolar or schizophrenia, where I had two doctors, actually more than two doctors. They were trying to decide, what label are we going to give Starlight? Because I ended up in the hospital, and then they were all trying to figure out, like, and it's scary, really, like, if the doctor doesn't know how to label you, then what kind of medication are they going to give you if they don't even know what it is? Sometimes those doctors don't really know what it is. What is going on with these people? It keeps on happening to these different types of people, and they could look in their charts and say, wow, like, huh, so-and-so, like, look at their background, like, it could be a lot of, what are they, common denominators, like, where, huh, isn't this weird? Like, this person had a really horrible childhood and, like, a horrible life, and, or, like, they had different things that went on in their life, and, huh, that's weird. They ended up going to the hospital, and, where another video that I want to come up with is, are you hearing voices? So that will be another one that I do want to come up with, is on that. So you might even heard voices, like, do you hear voices? Does any voice in your head say what to tell you to do? And do you listen? I've had my doctors before. I said I have a very active mind, and not only me, but my brother, talk about thoughts, like, and they're not ours, I didn't know that. But, like, my mind was so full years ago. It's not anymore. I feel so much better, and I didn't have to take any medication at all. Isn't that something? No medication to get rid of those kind of voices. When my therapist would ask me, like, or my doctor, are you hearing voices? I'm like, huh, no, just mine. I thought I was just only hearing my voice, my thinking, my way of thinking. I'm like, I know what I've gone through, and, I see something that might trigger me to think something, like, I'm like, yeah, that was my thoughts, and my thoughts. It's not like, like, but then I realized that there are people that do struggle with that, where, they, I do know somebody that does hear voices, and it is something where those voices might tell you to go and do something bad, where, and that's what you got to really watch out for. Sorry about that. Is, like, going through a spiritual awakening, and you really, really ought to check those videos out about what a spiritual awakening is. And I'm not the only one that had one. When I put my spiritual awakening video out, when I was looking up the cards, it would be the little thing that would go on your screen, like another title that would go on your video. I forget what they call, but I think it's called cards, that I looked, and I have to push video, and then I have to look up either old videos that I had or videos that other people made, and I put the title up, and when I put the title up, all these videos that other people made about the same topic will come up, and then I scroll and I look at all these videos on my YouTube channel and say, is there any of these? And I'm like, wow, that person had a spiritual awakening. That one, this one, this one, this one, this one, this one. Wow, all these people had spiritual awakenings, and I knew that years ago. But I never watched any of their videos. I really didn't understand what the heck happened to me years ago. I thought it was that I knew that my background, my whole life was like hell, and I literally mean that, really. I'm not exaggerating at all. What my life was been like in the past, but I'm letting go of the past. So I'm just using this as an example, is that, nothing was ever easy my whole life, and so I thought what happened is because of all the things that did happen, or things that I let happen in my life, like that, I thought that it got so big inside of me that one day I just exploded all over the place, kind of like like a volcano, like it erupted, like I erupted, and then that's why I ended up in the hospital. So I was trying to figure out for the life of me for years, from 2017, and and I didn't really even realize what happened to me, and till like years later, because I was trying to find out, okay, well, my doctor says I am bipolar. So I would look on YouTube for videos for people with bipolar. What is bipolar? Trying to find out what bipolar is so I can fully understand, why is my doctor labeling me bipolar. I did have a relative that said he had bipolar, and I'm like, I am not like him. He's got highs, and then his lows are ugly. I don't get ugly. I'm not a mean person. I don't get like fighting, and all that stuff. And I did get high a lot, but, then it made sense why I would get low because of my background. So it just wasn't, the pieces weren't fitting right. The label that my doctor gave me, I didn't agree with the diagnosis that my doctor gave me, but I'm like, something happened to me. What caused me to go in the hospital? What made all that happen? And I know that I was going through a lot before I went in the hospital, like I said in those videos, the stuff that was happening before. I mean, I didn't even touch half of the, I couldn't even do all the, it just never, never stopped before of all the, it was just before, I'm saying, not right now, but before, it just was like one thing after another. It just kept on going through that all the way through my life, like it's just like, wow, what's next? But, now I'm in a good, that ain't happening right now, because now I'm getting a hang of this stuff. Now I'm understanding, so you want to understand, do you really have bipolar? Are you really schizophrenia? Are you hearing voices? And then I told my therapist, I said, sorry, but I don't agree with my doctor's label. I don't agree with his diagnosis. But here you've given me an injection of not in my butt, but on my butt. They couldn't do it on my arm because I guess there's more fatty tissue back there. Have fun. But anyway, where, like I talked to my therapist. So here is so funny. Like I said, they couldn't make up their mind if I was bipolar or schizophrenia in the hospital, and now you're going to give me medications, right? Yeah, I had to take them anyway. They kind of make you try to take them in order to get back out of the hospital. You do want to get back out of the hospital, don't you? Oh yeah, I do. I got to go to work. I got to make money. Dollar bills are falling out of my wallet as I sit here. Yeah, how many days you're locking me up? 15 days of, no work, not making any money this way when you're locking me in the hospital, right? So it was really tough being in the hospital all those times, losing money. I had days having 2 jobs, like with cleaning having my own cleaning business and then being locked in a hospital and then them trying to give you medications, so you might be one of those people out there that are trying to figure out what the heck happened. Sorry about that. That slipped. But what the heck happened, to you? You might be like, why was I in the hospital? Why did this happen? Why did that happen? What caused this to happen? And then I ran across a video. This is how I found out what happened. There was a guy that actually, he had a video called, is it Bipolar or a Spiritual Awakening? Great video. Because he had a spiritual awakening. And same thing, he did not agree being called bipolar. So they were thinking that I would have highs, so my doctor, my therapist was afraid if I had highs, if I was feeling too happy, like, oh, you can't be too happy. Really, I feel really good right now. Oh, well, we're afraid if you're too happy, you might end up in the hospital. But if you're down, you might end up committing suicide or something like that. Okay. So, just nothing made sense to me on how they were labeling me. And was I hearing voices? That's what they were trying to figure out, because of my videos that I did put out on Spiritual Awakening. If you want to figure that out, you're going to have to go check those out because I can't, it's too much information to put right here on this video. But you'd have to check out 1 through 5, I believe. And it is long, but it's, so the stuff sounds crazy. It's not that I'm crazy, like a deep diver has told me, is that I'm just waking up, because I am waking up to this reality that this is all not what you think. It's an illusion. I heard this years ago by my brother, a long time ago. It's funny how this all happens, like where somebody might have told you something a long time ago and you just like, la da 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 da, you go on your life and la 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 la, and then boom, one day it hits you. You're like, wow, I think I get it now. This is really all an illusion here. And it is hard to understand that, that we are in the Matrix, and they have the documentary of that, the documentary on there. Netflix had it. I don't know if they still do. I don't have Netflix anymore, so I really can't tell you. So, yeah, so with, this is not really everything here. You just like all this, like this picture. Whoops, wrong side. I always do this on these cameras. Like this picture here, really, it was a thought. Like when God created everything, there was, like, everything was void, like before. Poof, we are, like, it's really awesome. I read the beginning of the Bible so many times, like, how God created the heavens and the earth, and all the, like first he created, then he made, first it was an imagination, a thought out of his mind about, like not he, but the universe, and then boom, there it is, like presto. And I'm an artist, so like yeah, like my artwork that I have around me, these cubes that I have, like this heart cube here, that was, first it was a thought, in my mind. I had all the pieces, like, or sometimes those hearts, actually, these hearts are actually on this cube here. This is one of my favorite heart cubes, is, those are actually rings. And, so I put those into this cube, but like when I was in the store, I was like, I seen those rings, and I'm like, I can actually make cubes out of those beautiful hearts, and so, there it is, and we're really like kind of in like a movie, the biggest Hollywood movie ever made. And you are one of the actors or actresses, and you're playing a part, and then they definitely have the puppet masters out there, controlling, there's people being controlled, and they get controlled by fear on the news, There's even watching movies that you can watch and it can control you to get you to do certain things. And even radio stations, watch out. I did hear pretty funny that even I knew this is when I was in the hospital that when the radio station starts talking to you, it gets kind of interesting, really. When the radio station is directly talking to you, and you're like, "Is that radio station talking to me right now?" Uh-huh. Yeah, you bet your, yeah, it is. It is talking to you. Where a lot of doctors have seen this, where their patients, because I've been in the hospital in and out, and they're like, "Does the radio talk to you?" It did before, and I don't listen to it anymore. It kind of really creeped me out. Where the DJs, it was kind of weird. It's like, huh, this is kind of funky. That happened a long time ago, and that is a job. I don't know if I ever put that video out. I guess I won't, because that would be talking about the past. But I did do a very interesting job. It was the quickest job I ever went in and out of. I might have lasted maybe 2 hours. Bye, guys. But anyway, when I was there, is a guy actually smoked a joint with me. Imagine that, getting high at your job. And I don't know what the heck was in there, or it might have been a combination of different things going on all at once. But boy, did I get high. I actually took more hits than I ever thought I would have, took. And so by the time it wore off, I pretty much said, well, I don't think I'm really good for this job. I got to go now. So I did. I left that job. I got good paid, good money. It was when I was homeless. But, it is something how different things can cause you to do or try different things. And I'm like, well, I guess this job is really not meant for me. I could have made a lot of money, believe me. I would have been pocketing money left and right. And so anyway, I drove home. After I smoked that joint, part of it, actually half of it, is, wow, my radio was talking to me for like a couple days, So it is part of the this whole matrix stuff, in the universe, God is trying to wake you up by giving you like a spiritual awakening to wake you out of your sleep, to get you to snap out of it. Hey, Starlight, huh? Yeah, you, wake up, huh? Oh yeah, you've been sleeping in a deep sleep. And it's like, so I've had lots of spiritual awakenings, and I love them. My first one that I had, I was like, wow, I want more of that, I did. I was like, whew, that was awesome. I was like, my therapist, I didn't, I'm not the only one. Other ones fear, because they didn't understand what was going on, and they don't want to go back in the hospital where, I talked to my therapist, and I'm like, wow, yeah, I like that. That was like, it was like a drug of its own. But, if you actually have been diagnosed with bipolar or schizophrenia, hearing voices, there is a false light out there, and you got the true, you got the universe, and then there's this false light that you do have to watch out for. And it's on the internet too. They got people of false light, giving false information on YouTube videos, making you think that the universe is contacting you. Even in the hospital, I had that happen in one of my spiritual awakenings. My last one of, it was last year, August 15th, actually. It started the month of last August, which my doctors, they always get worried about me in this time of year when it's nice and warm out, because that's when I normally have mine, So in August of 16th, 2022 is my last one, but, boy, the hospital they put me into, wow, they knew some stuff. I was impressed. So I do want to make more videos on the other spiritual awakenings and how crazy they were. Some of them are very short, but my one last year was really awesome. That was really a trip. So anyway, this is getting a little long. So you might, might have had a spiritual awakening is what I'm trying to let you know. Like you're not crazy, and those labels, don't let those labels scare you like it did with me in the beginning. Like I didn't like being called bipolar. You got bipolar, or schizophrenia, or schizophrenia. And it's kind of funny because when I told my therapist that I didn't agree with a label, I told her, I go, I watched this video about spiritual awakening, and they are all actors and actresses out there. They're, they want to, either they know or they don't want you to know, so then, because if you did know, would you be seeing them or would you be taking the medication? So if you don't know, they can make more money off of you that way because you don't know. Seriously, you don't know and you want to go to get help. But if you figure it out on your own, then you don't know. Wait, then you know that you don't have to go there for help because now you know that that it's not like the label that they gave you. And there are people that, like they might label bipolar and they might never had like a spiritual awakening, and like there are people that I know, they didn't have a spiritual awakening, but they get those highs, and they could be really ugly when they get the lows, really ugly or so depressing that you're like, I think I'm going to leave right now. It's that bad. The depressing part is so bad they could be really nasty with you, you know. So really, I do love all of you, and you ought to check that video out if you do have bipolar or schizophrenia or schizophrenia. That's what I keep on wanting to say, as my therapist said. If I didn't like the title of the bipolar, she goes, "Well, how about schizophrenia?" Like, really, another label? You're just going to label me with another label? Now I got three. Because some of the doctors do really know what's going on and other ones don't know. They really don't know, but they try, they try to figure it out. And then some people don't agree with what they see on the internet either. Or the full moon. Some of them are agreeing on the full moon that it has powers, and other ones don't believe it. They feel that there's no way you could prove it, until they experience them themselves and say, wow, yes, the full moon does have power. They do know the full moon does do strange things to the water and all that stuff and all kinds of stuff. Even the animals get affected by those full moons, like I said, the police department, the hospitals know about it. They know, that's when the psychos come out, So anyway, the lunatics come out. And that's when they go, ow. So anyway, I do love all of you. And I hope you really get a lot of help from these videos. And I got to work on that. I got to figure out the order of my other spiritual awakenings, because I'm so excited about the one I had last year. That was really interesting. Things that I said to the police officer. It was that bad. It's at a time where I blocked out that part. I don't remember, but the police officer is like, hey, do you remember... did you know what you said to me? And, he goes, you said, and I can't tell you right now, but I'm going to hold that. It is funny. What I did say to him, and I thought about it. It sounds like something I would have said. So I'm like, it had to been that I did say that, but somehow or another I blacked out on that part. I mean, that's probably the worst thing a cop ever heard anybody tell him. So I always thought about that police officer. He was a good-looking police officer, but I'm thinking those two police officers. There's two of them that chained me to a bed. The things that I said to them. So they must have been walking away like, wow. So it was really funny. So anyway, I do love all of you, and I am sorry. It is really something with those spiritual awakening, and I did get some numbers, so I'm like, ooh, I would love to have another spiritual awakening. They are very awesome. Like, wow, if I could feel like that all the time without going in the hospital, woohoo, it would be on. Anyway, I do love all of you, and I hope you enjoy. This is Starlight. Love and light. Peace.